Imagine having a team of elite financial analysts working 24/7 for you without paying them a dime. Today I'm going to show you how to build exactly that using TradingAgents, which is an open source multi-agent framework, and I will combine them with local LLM models like Qwen and Gamma 4. Let's build this. We are moving past simple AI chatbots. TradingAgent is a multi-agent LLM framework that is built on LangGraph library that decomposes complex trading decisions into multi-layer AI agents just like a Wall Street firm. It has structured output agents like research manager, trader, portfolio manager. So instead of asking one AI a broad question and getting a generic answer, the system uses different agents for fundamentals, sentiments, news, and technicals. This means you get a highly structured, data-driven analyst every time you run this project. Using this project, I have built an entire local which will run entirely on your machine, so there are no APIs, no subscription costs, and your financial data will never leave your system. We are going to use Ollama for our local models and financial libraries like this TradingAgent and yfinance library to fetch the stock prices data. By the end of this video, you will have a fully functioning stock swing trader running entirely on your machine, pulling free data from all of these financial libraries. So how does the TradingAgent framework work? It has multiple agents teams. For example, the first team is the analyst team, which will do the fundamental analysis of each stock. Then for the given stock, it will analyze the social media and public sentiment using the sentiment analyst agent. Third would be the news analyst, which will monitor the global news and macroeconomic indicators. For example, wars also affect the stock market, so it has to incorporate the macroeconomic factors as well. Then the technical analyst will look at the graph of the stock data and its price history and check the technical indicators like MACD or RSI to detect different patterns like overbought or oversold, or whether it is breaking out from a base or not. The sentiment and the news analyst agents will work side by side. One will scan the social media and public sentiment. This will gauge the short-term mood of the market, and the other agent will check the news reports to gauge the broader impacts on stock market. Together, these four agents will compile a multifaceted report, and they will do the exact same research a human takes around 2 to 3 hours to do every day. But this kind of multi-agent team will do that analysis in seconds. For the local AI models, we are going to use different kind of AI models. Like a small fast model can do the technical analysis and calculations, while a heavy deep thinking model will do the fundamental analysis of the stock. Next will be the researcher team, which will analyze the bullish and bearish sentiments and critically assess the insights provided by the analyst team. Inherently, this researcher team will do a debate among itself for the potential gains against the inherent risks. So the bull agent will look for the reasons why the stock will explode, while the bear looks for reasons whether it will crash and burn. This kind of debate is necessary to remove any bias, as it forces the system to analyze the risk instead of just looking at the positive momentum. Then will be the trader agent, which will compose reports from the analyst and the researcher teams, and it will make the final trading decisions. It will also tell you the timing and the magnitude of trade that you have to do basis a comprehensive market insights generated by the earlier two teams. But before anything happens, the risk management and portfolio manager teams will also take role. They will evaluate any portfolio risks by checking the market volatility, liquidity, other risk factors, and it will report to the portfolio manager for the final decision whether we should trade or not. The final portfolio manager will approve or reject the transaction proposal, and that order will be sent to simulate exchange and execute. To make this project private and free, we are going to use Ollama as our inference engine. You just need to go to ollama.com, click on download Ollama. Basis your platform, just download the installer and follow the simple installation steps. For the model, I'm going to use a Gamma 4 model that is recently released by Google. It is very well in reasoning, agentic workflows, coding, and multi-model understanding. And out of these powers, the reasoning and agentic workflows will be very crucial for our project, because basis the stock market fundamental reports, sentiment analysis, we need to do the reasoning whether we should do the trade or not. And as we have a multi-agentic team, we will need the agentic workflows capabilities as well. I'm going to use a tiny version of this model, which is Gamma 4 E2B. This is the smallest version, which just has effective 2 billion parameters, which can run on even a daily use computer with the 8 GB RAM. So you can just click on this link and copy this query, go to any Python IDE that you like. I'll be using Google Anti-Gravity. If you don't have it, you can install it by go to antigravity.google/download and click on download. Then basis your platform, you can download the installer and again follow the simple installation steps. So once you have Anti-Gravity installed, just open the terminal and paste the query that we have copied and press enter. Now the model will be installed in your local system. It will take around 7 GB of download space, so ensure you have the bandwidth and the space available in your hard disk. Next, as this Gamma 4 model is a reasoning engine, it will take a lot of time thinking before outputting the final answer. So for a quick demo, I'm going to make a custom model out of it. I'm just going to create a model file here, which will have instructions from this Gamma 4 E2B model that you are an expert direct assistant. You must provide the final answer immediately. Do not use think text, do not output internal reasoning, and do not brainstorm before answering. Output only the final response. So this is the system instruction that I am giving to the base model Gamma 4 E2B, and using this I'm going to make another custom model. So whenever that custom model will be executed, it will look at this system instruction and it will disable all the thinking parameters, so it will give faster responses. To register this model in Ollama, you just need to give this kind of query, which will create a new model called Gamma for nothing from the model file that we have kept here. So now our Gamma for E2B model is installed. I can just exit this window by pressing Ctrl D. Now I'll register my custom model by using this command and pasting it here. Now if you'll run Ollama list, you'll see that the Gamma for nothing model is registered now. Now for faster technical analysis, I'm going to use another model, which is Qwen 3.54b. This is again just 4 billion parameter model, and you can install it by copying this query and again pasting it in anti-gravity terminal. Once we have both the models installed, we will move on to building the configuration file and the Python code file. First, in the configuration file, we will define all the parameters that we'll be needing for our Python code. For example, the LLM configurations, like first of all, we are going to use Ollama as our LLM provider. Our deep thinking LLM would be the Gamma for nothing, and our quick thinking LLM will be Qwen 3.54b. Now you can restrict the round of debates among the agent teams by lowering this max debate rounds parameter. Right now for quick demo, I'm keeping this as 1, but you can increase this to get more accurate responses. Next, I'm defining all the stock tickers that I want to analyze. I've kept some 5 different stocks from Indian stock market, but you can easily place any stock ticker that you want from global markets as well. Then I'm defining some analysis dates. I'm just keeping some last 4 Tuesdays for backtrack testing, just to see what is our analyst team is recommending, and then we can check the actual market trends as well just to verify them. So I've kept the dates for the last 4 Tuesdays here. Now to update the trading agent default by our local configurations, we are going to use this get merge. I'm going to copy the default configurations from the trading agent library, and then using the LLM configurations that we have defined above, I'm going to update that configuration file and return it. So this will update all the parameters that you define in this config.py file and copy them to the trading agent library. Now we'll build a Python code that will use the trading agent library and give us the output for any stock ticker that we want. First of all, I'm importing all the libraries that we are going to need. Our parse library will parse any arguments that the user gives. You'll see later how this is used on any user data. Then late time library will be used to fetch the current date time. Then from trading agent, we are importing the trading agent graph module, which will build the LangGraph agent graph for our multi-agent team. Next, we are importing the config file that we have just built. The first function will run the analysis on any stock ticker data that we want basis the date that we provide. So it will initiate the trading agent's graph module from the trading agent library, and the configurations will be fetched from the get merge config function that we have defined in config.py. Next, on this trading agent graph object, we will propagate the graph using our ticker and the date that we are giving, and we will store the results into this decision object. Next, I'm going to save this result. So first we are going to write the trading agent local backtest results. Then we will output the results in a nice formatted table, which will have date, ticker, decision, and the action details given by the trader agent team. Finally, we'll get the action from the decision object and the reason for that decision as well. And in the file, we will write the current date, the ticker, the action, and the reason. Finally, we are going to print that we have done this ticker on this date and this is the action. Now in the main function, we are going to parse all the arguments that are given by the user. We are going to provide a description to user first that this is a local only swing trader. Then user can provide a stock ticker data. We'll just give a help message that you can specify the ticker to analyze, and then you can specify the date in this 4 times y, 2 times m, 2 times d format. So once the arguments are given, we will use the parser library to parse all the arguments. If the user is providing the ticker and date, then we will run the analysis using the ticker and date that is provided by user. Otherwise, we will run the analysis on all the tickers that we have defined in the config file, and we will run on all the analysis dates that are defined in the configuration file. For all the tickers, we will run the analysis on the ticker and date. If there is any error, we will just print a message that we failed this ticker on this date, and when the file is called, we will just call the main function here. Now to test this file, you just need to go to anti-gravity terminal, write python swingtrader.py, and just to do a quick test, I'm going to pass some arguments as well. Let's say if I just want to analyze the Reliance data on last Tuesday, so I can put my ticker as this, like this is dash dash ticker, this is my ticker name, and for the date, I'm just going to write dash dash date, and this is my date. So I'm just going to copy this command and paste it here and press enter. So this will start the analysis on the Reliance stock for this 21st April, which is the last Tuesday. So now the analysis has started. The agent has saw that the human message is reliance.ns. So now the agent debate has started. As you can see, the implications that analysts remain fundamentally bullish on Reliance long-term prospects. So in long term, there are positive sentiments. Then there is a fair value adjustment of plus 12 rupees, which shows continued institutional confidence. The market is believing that current trading price might still be undervalued, and there are some support cases for buy on the dip positions. Then it has fetched some news as well from April 21st, which is HBO Max Geo partnership, which is a positive news. The implications are also listed, that strengthening of Reliance digital content ecosystem, potential new recurring revenue streams, synergy between the two pillars, which is telecom and entertainment, and consumer facing growth story that remains relevant despite regulatory issues. So as Reliance is partnering with HBO Max, it is saying there are some positive indicators. For each news, it has given the sentiment analysis as well. On April 14, there was a neutral speculation. So overall sentiment trend was mixed, then slightly neutral. neutral, then it was becoming slightly positive. Then it has given the impact assessment metrics. So finally it has given the trading and investor implications. So for short-term traders, the stock represents a classic catch the fall scenario given the confirmed regulatory investigation, because there are some regulatory investigations going on. So you should have a stop loss strategy. So if the stock moves below the recent support levels, then you should immediately sell it. Then for long-term investors, it is saying that there is still institutional support, as analysts are continuously moving this as undervalued or fairly valued. Then there is a digital momentum, like Jio HBO Max partnership opens long-term growth avenues. Now it has given the recommendations basis the positive outcomes and the risk factors. And finally it has given a conclusion that it is navigating a complex periods because there are some regulatory challenges, but there are some new growth opportunities as well. The HBO Max Jio partnership demonstrate growing innovation momentum, while the analyst fair value adjustment suggests institutional investors remain confident in the long-term basis. However, it is saying that the confirmed bribery probe represent a genuine near-time risk, which requires careful monitoring. So for traders, the environment suggests a cautious approach with protective measures. For long-time horizon, the business fundamentals remain intact, so there is an investment opportunity. However, you should be cautious basis the regulatory investigation that is going on, and we should temper enthusiasm until more concrete news emerges. So the final transaction proposal is to hold, and it finally has provided a summary table which has all the positive and negative arguments like current fair value, the fair value versus previous is increasing. So you are getting a clean actionable output that told you whether the AI agent want you to buy, sell or hold the given stock basis the aggregated data that is taken for the date that you had provided. If you scroll down below, it will also say that the report is generated as on April 21st. The analysis period is the last week from April 21st, and the symbol that is analyzed is Reliance.ns. Just a disclaimer that this is not a buy, sell, hold recommendation. I'm just telling you how to test this model on any stock that you want, so you can do the analysis basis your parameters as well. One of the major features of this tool is its persistent memory, so it will not forget everything if you run it again tomorrow as well. It will save local files on its own to preserve the memory, so next time you run the analysis on the same stock, it will look at the previous decision that it took, then it will look the market returns, and it will write a self-reflection as well. Over time, it will inject those lessons into its portfolio manager team, so if it made a bad call yesterday, it will actively adjust its strategy basis the real world feedback. And it also uses checkpoints from LangGraph library, so in case your computer crashes mid-analysis, running it again with this checkpoint flag will resume it exactly where it left off instead of starting over. So what are the potential use cases of this project? You can do complete private financial analysis without sending your data or portfolio information to any cloud APIs like ChatGPT or Claude. You can also build your own screener where you can put multiple stocks and build a UI and find the ideal swing trading opportunities basis the aggregated news and fundamentals. You can also use this as an educational tool, so you can check how the architecture is debating among itself and build some manual strategies for you, learning from how AI is debating among itself. Finally, you can also serve this as a core evaluation engine, and you can connect this to external APIs to directly make and execute trading orders. Now some feature additions that you can build on top of this project. First is the same thing that I've just talked about, that you can do live broker integrations, like you can use the Zerodha or Upstock API to do the direct executions. Then you can install some other libraries like TLib or Pandas TA, which can make advanced charts for the technical indicators, and then you can provide the agents with the mathematical signals generated by the charts. You can also build a UI to visualize the agent debates and track performance history over time, and you can schedule the cron jobs to automatically run the analysis daily on your stock data automatically. I have put all these code files and the readme file in the GitHub repo. You can find the link in the description and pinned comments below. So grab the code right now and build your own stock trader, and follow the channel for more such AI builds, updates and workflows.